Hi, it's Greg from episode 7 of the How I Vegan podcast. Last year, I started an accessories brand called Assisi Style, creating belts and wallets from cork, a wonderful natural leather alternative that's both vegan and sustainable. So far, I've designed belts and wallets in classic black and brown, with a new two-tone wallet and 2 new handbag designs on the way just in time for Christmas. Each piece comes in a stylish gift box, so they make the ideal gifts for hard-to-buy-for vegans. Visit my website, assisi.style, to view the current range. That's ASSISI.style. Use the voucher code HELLO20 for an extra 20% off our already discounted prices on your first order. Assisi Style. Kindness accessorized.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you imagine if you hadn't pressed record?
That would be awful, wouldn't it? Imagine
would.
doing a whole episode and not pressing record
It'd be terrible.
and only finding out right at the end when you wanted to stop the recording.
Yeah.
Only a real amateur would do that.
Oh, but we have a professional recording studio and everything, so nobody would do that here.
No, we've had to. No, definitely not. And if they did, then the whole editing department would get sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great fun. Happy days. Anyway, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. It's been a tough few days, if I'm honest.
Yeah, what's up?
Just work-wise, it's been Baby Loss Awareness Week, and
Yes.
I went to the Trafford Centre Wave of Light last night. Met some of the dads I've worked with over the past year or so. Some of them were there, and just being there was quite tough. So yeah, it's been that,
Yeah,
and other work stuff that's all baby loss related. It's okay. It's okay.
Hard times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see and hear it and all that, it's yeah.
Yes, it's a lot. That's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot to take in. Yes.
What were you gonna say?
You've come off social media.
I have come off social media.
Which I only realised when I was going to send you a messenger.
Yes.
A message on Messenger, and
Yeah,
and you weren't there anymore.
I'm still on WhatsApp. You can message me there. It's a lot easier.
Yes.
My SMS doesn't work all the time for some reason.
Oh.
Sometimes it's just random. I try and send a message and then I don't get a reply, and then 2 days later it says this message hasn't sent. I'm like, well,
That'll be why.
But no, social media, I've come off it. I'm sick of the negativity all over the place, and particularly the negativity on the vegan side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
The inter-vegan bickering and
Yes.
well, I don't know, whatever word you want to use, people just arguing with other vegans about, well, this should be happening and that should be happening, and you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. We can get messages moaning about whether we use dog vegan food or not.
Yeah.
But just to see comments and posts that just aren't acceptable for one individual to the next, it does my nutting. And I don't want to comment on it. But it's like you can just scroll
Still
past.
affects you, doesn't it?
You can just scroll past, and I've always said that. I don't comment. I do just scroll past, but then I end up not looking at anything anyway, and then I'm just relentlessly scrolling for no reason.
Yes.
So off social media, away from the negativity, back to reading books a bit more, taking a bit more care of myself.
Our friend Marlin, who was on earlier in the year,
Yep,
was a was involved in something like that recently, where there was a post by someone called Vegan47 who I was following, who said, now this is a perfect example. So in our previous episode, we were talking about how people like to say how much more vegan than other people they are.
Yes.
And this post was saying basically Earthling Ed isn't vegan.
Wow. Yeah, because he's not.
You think of all the people who've been on our show who have said he's been an inspiration to them.
Yeah.
You know, he's helped them through with various episodes that he's done, with all these facts and figures and all that kind of thing, and his books as well.
Yeah,
But apparently he's
calming nature when it comes to activism.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not vegan enough because he's not making people. He's taking too long, and people are. It's just absolutely nonsense.
He's taken too long. Yes, we're on a time limit. Out of the people saying it's taking too long, how many people on a ratio between them and Earthling Ed have they turned vegan?
Yes, it's just
Jesus Christ. I've had enough. I'm just going to be vegan. I'll come and do this for you because I like you, and this is a bit of, we're doing our bit. But people, it's doing my nutting. It really is. Really frustrated.
So one of the comments on here says, he is not vegan. He is a plant-based activist. It just, and then it goes off on a thing. And then Marlin commented, like, basically, what the hell are you talking about? Because it's Earthling Ed, for God's sake. But and then as soon as you start arguing anything with, certainly there's been a few people popping up regularly that I've spotted who seem to be these sort of ultra vegans who, as soon as you question anything about them or don't agree with them, suddenly you're not vegan either. And it's so frustrating. Like you said, the infighting, the negativity towards other vegans. And I think if the whole world went vegan tomorrow, they would still find something to complain about.
It's still not enough.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever enough.
No.
And what is enough? The only thing that can be enough is what you are doing for yourself.
Yeah.
Genuinely believe that. You can't do anything to change other people. We can have them conversations with people that want to have a conversation with us about veganism, but we're not going to actively change them. They have to change it for themselves.
Yes.
Michelle tried. She tried in her way for the best part of 15 years to change me.
Yeah.
It was me that needed to accept it and do it.
That's it. People will only change when they're ready to change. You can't force them into that.
You can give them the information, but they've still got to be ready for it. On the same thing, earlier on, I was watching a bit of YouTube on Chris Packham's YouTube channel, of all places.
Of all people, yeah.
Yeah, because he's not vegan and he's an arsehole, isn't he? If anybody is, whoever is listening to this, God bless you, because I'm in a right miserable mood.
You weren't even the one who didn't press record.
Yeah, exactly. I was much happier before. you didn't press record, and now I'm right pissed off. Chris Packham's YouTube channel. It's quite easy to find. Chris Packham. His latest video. It's all about the fact we are screwed unless we go to 100% plant-based world.
Wow.
But I guess that's not vegan enough either. He might be the president of the RSPCA. He might not be doing enough in that role. But if he's putting a YouTube video on his own YouTube channel saying we are screwed unless we do this, I'm quietly confident that he is doing what he can.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big. I didn't hear what he said, but if he's putting stuff like that on YouTube, he must be trying to do something.
We'll see how that pans out. I know there's a review going on into RSPCA Assured because Brian May resigned as vice president, didn't he? But Chris Packham and Caroline Lucas said that they would stay on until the outcome of the review was known. So we'll await that with bated breath.
Yeah, he was doing it for he's done this video because we're heading into COP 16.
26, I think. Is it 26 or 16?
I don't know.
Not sure. I've lost count.
COP something or other, but then I guess the fact I don't know the number means I'm not vegan enough.
Yeah. Yeah, which is being held in Azerbaijan and sponsored by the Azerbaijan state oil company.
Brilliant. Okay. Good Lord. He's saying it about because we're heading into that, and that everything to do with COP, whatever number it is, should be plant-based.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. So
no. Well, there we go. Anyway, Wes, our jobs are under threat. And I say jobs, not like we get paid for this.
Our jobs in the voluntary activism sector.
Voluntary activism podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the latest issue of Private Eye, there's an article. It says, a new Google AI tool can analyze documents in a few seconds and convert them into a podcast hosted by a pair of virtual presenters who banter while explaining the contents to the listener. We are fucked.
So is the AI middle-aged, bald-bearded men?
It doesn't go into that much detail, but it does say the hosts are equipped with high-quality voice models, so it can't. We'll be all right because we haven't got high-quality voice models.
I've got a new microphone, but
oh yeah, that's true. We'll come on to that. Which can mimic conversation, pauses, laughter, intonation with startling fidelity. So yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I might start feeding in some of the stuff that we talk about and see if it will come out any better.
You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a new microphone, and
yes.
while you are really loud.
Well, that's okay.
I know. You know. Last week I said you're always really quiet. This week you're really loud.
Oh, okay.
Weird, but that's fine.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
So the reason Wes has a new microphone is because we've taken the corporate shilling by having our first paid sponsor, which is by Assisi Style, who is basically run by our friend Greg, who was in episode 7, who's set up his vegan accessories business.
Clothing accessories.
You can get wallets, belts, and now handbags, all designed by Greg. And if you go to Assisi Style on Instagram or assisi.style on the internet, you can see their latest products. And if you listen out for Greg talking during this episode, you will hear a code where you can get 20% off.
Wowza.
So there we go. Enjoy. One other thing, which I've just remembered we spoke about in the episode that we didn't record. Just bear with me while I find it.
Did that happen? Was that a thing?
No. There's no evidence of it.
No, clearly.
Hold on. Right. Now, you've got to react to this as if you've never heard it before, even though you have. So, this was an email sent to our howiveganpodcast@gmail.com.
I mean, you asked me to react to this like I've not heard it. I can't remember it, so...
Okay, good. Hi, I hope this message finds you well. I'm pleased to inform you that you have been nominated to feature on our platform. This nomination is based on our detailed analysis of the inspiring content you have shared on your Instagram account, and we are pleased to consider you a prospective applicant for this opportunity.
Sounds amazing.
Exciting.
This is really good.
Our platform was created specifically for people like you to share their unique stories and serve as a source of inspiration to others.
That makes sense. We're sharing
Yeah.
stories. We're doing all those things, yeah.
Yeah. After careful consideration, we are delighted to officially nominate you to be featured on our renowned platform, Behind Bodybuilders.
So, track back just a few sentences there. After careful consideration.
Yeah.
Not that careful.
After careful consideration and an analysis of the inspiring content you have shared on your Instagram account.
Yeah. Look at me and you nailing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, we're not even on our Instagram account. So
I can barely
who have they been looking at?
I can barely bench press a loaf of bread at the minute.
Oh God. I love those spam emails. Normally I just delete them, but that one I just thought that's surely worth reading out.
Definitely.
Surely. Anyway, all good fun. So listener, we are going to chat with the same guest that we chatted to last time, but we're going to pretend that we haven't chatted to him yet.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be brand new, except we all know what we're going to say, but we'll try and make it sound like it's all new.
It's the first time you've listened to it, so it's all right for you. Yeah.
Well, it might be the second time you've listened to it, in which case, I mean, one, thanks, but two, why?
Yeah, that's like a weird glitch in the Matrix, isn't it? I mean,
unless we're a weird glitch, are we Google AI podcasters?
I don't know. Does that?
Would we know if we were?
No, but if we are a glitch in the Matrix, does that mean we're vegan enough or not?
Are we vegan AI? Because AI is really bad for the planet. For the planet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it uses up loads and loads of something or other. I don't know. Yeah. What does it use up loads of?
I'll tell you
processing
what, though,
power. Yeah.
In the Matrix, when we found out what a glitch was, it was because they saw a black cat twice. So therefore, was that cat harmed during the making of the Matrix, and therefore is a glitch in the Matrix vegan? Oh,
Christ almighty! Let's
move on.
Let's talk about our guest from episode 4, who you know as Josh.
Wow. Okay.
Who?
Maybe I should start calling him that.
The guest from episode 4, and your dear wife as the guest from episode 2.
Yes.
I think she'd like that. But he was performing on stage the other night with his guitar, and he was incredible from the videos I saw.
Yeah, I was a very, very, very proud dad that night. If I'm honest, got a little bit emotional.
I should think.
I've seen him, but he's performed quite a lot. He hasn't, in inverted commas, performed like that. He was on fire. Almost literally.
It was not just standing on stage playing a guitar, it was a performance. Because he had like stage presence. You could tell
I'll tell you how much of a rock star he was. He put his foot on the bloody monitor as he was doing a solo. That's rock star.
I was like, yes. I thought you were going to say he slept with a groupie, but yes. He had that was it. Because he's like I say, he just had stage presence.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there was 10 bands played. If anyone knows it, Band on the Wall in Manchester, because he's at college, and it's the college have got a link with Band on the Wall, and there was about 10 of the bands from his college year that played, and they were all pretty good. To be fair, I am a bit biased because he's my lad.
I think that's acceptable.
But all the bands were relatively good. Some of them were really good. Some individuals were really good and outstanding. There were some things that needed tweaking. Some of them weren't so good, but that's why they're at college to learn.
Yeah, all right, Simon Cowell. Yeah,
whatever. But yes, I did just flick the finger at you. because that was a visual swearing.
Yeah. This is why we don't record on video.
But Josh's band were like amazing. The two singers were like really, they were incredible.
Fantastic.
Absolutely incredible. And yeah, I was really proud. It was really good.
Brilliant.
So
okay.
hopefully playing Wembley, Glastonbury in a few years' time. Who knows? Make me rich.
Yeah, I messaged him and said we look forward to seeing you at Glastonbury. Although I'll have to watch it on the telly because I'll be too old for Glastonbury by that point.
Oh yeah,
and it's too muddy.
I've gone to Glastonbury for the past 20 years just watching it on the telly. It's fine. It's much better. You get to see more music that way.
True. And talking to musicians, our guest is in the lobby. So we'll let them in and you will hear them straight after this.
There's nothing better than a hunk of prime Labrador steak, wonderfully marbled. And that is almost entirely dependent on how it's produced. Elwood's organic dog meat has complete control of this entire journey. So I'm here at Elwood's farm to find out a little more about it.
Welcome to Elwood Farms.
Thank you very much, Elwood.
I hear you do a bit of barbecuing?
I do a little bit of barbecuing every now and then, yes. From a chef's point of view, consistency is key for everything.
It doesn't matter if it's a Rottweiler ribeye, a Pyrenees mince, or a lab sirloin.
You can always tell when the dog comes from a place where it was well reared. And every step has to be right, doesn't it? Oh, you should see these guys. So, from an Elwood's point of view, there's complete traceability.
Absolutely. Unrivaled traceability, so it's fine.
Every single piece of dog meat.
Yeah, from pub to farmer's market.
Everything the dog's been fed.
Everything about it.
For each dog.
Yeah, only Marks and Spencer's and Whole Foods do this.
Where else can people order from?
From elwooddogmeat.com. That's ELWOOD dogmeat.com.
For top quality meat from dogs for people, meat that's local, sustainable, and humanely harvested, there's only Elwood's organic dog meat. They seem pretty friendly, don't they? They're more responsive to me than my kids, to be honest.
Here he is, Tony.
I recognise that face.
How's it going, guys? All right.
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Excellent. Lovely to meet you for the first time, and definitely not for the second time in a week.
Yeah, I thought your faces seemed familiar.
That's because we all look the same because we're all men with beards.
Exactly.
Thank you for.
Nice to see you again.
Yes. Thank you for joining us again, and again, apologies for last time.
No
Wes
problem.
rang me up the next day to check I was all right.
It's fine.
Just imagined he had not slept.
I can imagine, but from my side, it's all fine. Don't worry.
Fantastic. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to do an intro that I've rewritten since last time. Our guest in this episode got in touch after he heard our conversation with Dylan Jakobsen in episode 65. He is a UK-based country music artist, and you can find him on Spotify or wherever else you stream your music. If you're quick, you can catch him live on stage at the Dukes of Highgate on October 20th. Our guest is Tony Beacock. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, man. Thanks for turning up again.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So tell us, Tony, tell us about the music, first of all. What's the background?
So yeah, I'm a kind of country folk musician. I started out as a solo artist years ago, and then I've slowly, as I've become more established in Hull and East Riding area, I've kind of met people, I've made friends with people, and I've put a band together. Whilst I've been recording music as well, I keep putting singles out here and there. But it was nice to kind of put this band together and record it with friends and stuff, really. And it's I have a big passion for music, and all the different instruments which you can find in country music and folk music, such as violin, banjo, guitar. I've managed to find 2 pedal steel players in Hull actually, which is crazy, but yeah. But they're both very good. One guy was doing them like my tracks and things like that, and then one guy plays with me live, so that's really good. But yeah,
Nice.
we've got the band together and we're playing around the areas, like local to me, but I'm trying to get out as well, out of Hull.
Not just because
Yeah.
it's Hull, but just to expand your...
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hull's music scene it's really good actually. There's a big range of stuff, and everyone's friendly, and there's plenty of opportunity.
magic.
Yeah, and it's just really nice actually. It's some really kind of good places to play. Adelphi and stuff are quite well known across the UK for that. A lot of kind of big artists played there before they were big, really. On like the UK tours and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just nice to get out of Hull itself, and I love traveling and meeting new people and playing in new places. Really, it's just nice.
I want to ask, what's pedal steel?
It's they.
I'm glad you asked that, Wes. I just nodded along.
Yeah.
Pedal steel you'll hear it in any kind of country music.
Okay.
It's. Have you heard of like the lap steel guitar? It's kind of you literally rested on one now. Actually, a pedal steel. It's a guitar kind of flipped up on its side. This one's got legs, and it's got a minimum of 3 pedals at the bottom. And when you press the pedal, it kind of bends the note. But it's a slide guitar as well.
Yeah, I get it.
So you'll have heard it in any country music. A lot of it has got it.
I think I've got an image in my head now. I think I've seen it.
I've just Googled it. I think I've seen Caroline Jones playing one of those.
Yeah,
She's
I think so actually. But like anywhere from, like Hank Williams was on like a console type lap steel type thing. But then I think it was the 50s they designed this new kind of instrument, and it was an extension of that, and they added pedals and knee levers, and it bends the notes and things like that.
Wow.
There's a lot of like Hawaiian music. The SpongeBob theme tune's actually kind of played on the same style of it's like Hawaiian stuff, yeah. But yeah, country kind of adapted that, and yeah, it's everywhere now. It's really, really nice sound.
Cool.
Amazing. Okay.
But yeah.
So how did you sort of get yourself into country and folk music then? What was the lure of that?
I mean, it was, I wouldn't say a recent thing now. It was quite a few years ago that I got first into it, really. I've always been into music. Always listened to music. Like my dad played music all the time, and my grandparents and my mum, we all listened to it in the car all the time and at home. And then kind of I just started guitar lessons at school, and my mum paid for those for my. She said, "I'll pay 10 for 10 lessons for you for your birthday. £10 each, so £100." And that got me started, and then it never kind of stopped.
Nice.
But I did stop with the lessons, and I taught myself after that eventually. But yeah, I got onto kind of Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska album, and Johnny Cash, and all like that type of thing. And then I just went down the rabbit hole of finding all these older, lesser known country artists, really, but also like obviously Hank Williams and stuff like that. But there's it's country and folk together, and all of these influences kind of make my music. And I guess I'm still trying to find my real sound as well. I think you're always evolving as a musician anyway. But yeah, it was Bruce Springsteen Nebraska album was probably the pivotal point, because that's the most kind of country-esque album that he put out, really.
Oh, okay.
it's really stripped back, acoustic guitar, harmonica, and just really nice lyrics, because that's a big thing for me.
I don't know if it's on Nebraska, because I haven't listened to that album properly, but there's I can't remember what I was listening to. I think it was Tom Morello's podcast.
Yeah.
And they were talking about there's an acoustic version of Born in the USA.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we know it as like the big rock tune.
Yeah.
There's an acoustic version, and you can properly hear the words in it, which I'd never noticed. But it's all about the Vietnam War.
It is, yeah. A lot of
Didn't
Bruce
even realise.
Springsteen's songs are like that, actually.
Yeah.
He had friends that had gone, who had been enlisted and stuff, and never actually came back and stuff like that. It's very like for fighting for the rights of the veterans and stuff, and but yeah, it's a great version, that, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, but that rock version is you just think it's a big patriotic song, don't you?
Yeah,
But
that's it.
Yeah.
when it's stripped back to just him playing an acoustic guitar, you're suddenly like, oh, this is really dark.
Yeah,
Like
and
super dark.
yeah, he's got a lot of strong opinions, as we all do, about war and stuff anyway. And it kind of goes with the vegan thing as well. It's a lot of suffering in the world, all over the place, and it's people like Bruce Springsteen. They use their voice to fight against that, really. And I'm sure he kind of calls himself an activist of war and stuff, against war, But yeah, it's a really nice song, that, and like you say, the lyrics, once they're stripped back and you can actually hear the words he's saying, and it's literally just him, maybe the harmonica and the guitar. You're forced to, you have to listen to it. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So I mentioned that you're performing at the Dukes of Highgate, which is a fantastic name.
It's very good, yeah.
On Sunday, as we're recording this. So that's in Highgate in North London. How did that come about, and what's the vibe there?
Well, to be honest, it was a message on Instagram. A lot of out of town gigs are like from people who are following me on Instagram, or me reaching out as well. It takes quite a bit of effort to source gigs and stuff like that, but sometimes you do get a message and it's nice. I was approached on Instagram. They asked me to if I wanted to go down and play. They said, I've been listening to music on Spotify and really liking the sound of it, and would you like to play?
Wow.
So
Wow.
I was like, yeah, of course, when's the date? Then,
yeah,
it's just a really, really nice opportunity. It's a pretty, I think, I don't know, I've not been there myself personally, but I follow it on Instagram and stuff, and it's a smaller place, but I know a lot of famous country or well-known country artists have been there, whether to visit or to play. I know Charlie Crockett had visited there, and he's a big inspiration of mine. And Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke, he played like a little acoustic set there. There two what I can just think of off the top of my head. But it's what's like the tagline? It's London's first and only honky tonk or something like that. It's very country themed, and
yeah,
it's all any type of Americana type music, honky tonk, Americana, stripped back stuff, and you'll see a lot of fiddles and all sorts there. But the interior's really like a country themed. So I'm excited really to get there and play.
Sounds amazing.
And it will be a stripped back one as well. It'll just be myself playing guitar, harmonica, and singing. I'll be singing some of my own songs, and then I'll be throwing some covers in as well.
Nice. Can you give us any spoilers?
What of covers?
Yeah.
I really like older stuff, like Townes Van Zandt. He was a very well known. Well, to be honest, he's become more well known since he died, actually. And it's the same with Blaze Foley as well. They were friends in Texas, Fort Worth and Austin, Texas, and that area. It was like the 70s and 80s. And Towns Van Zandt, actually, he came to Hull in 1994. So I played on the same stage as him as well, which was really nice. He played at Adelphi. But yeah, I'll probably be playing a couple of their songs. And yeah, just whatever I kind of feel the audience will be enjoying, really. It depends like how busy it is and what the vibe is, really.
Shoehorn in the SpongeBob theme.
Yeah.
Like Corey Taylor does. I love that.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Oh dear. So tell us about the vegan aspect then, Tony. Where did that come from?
So I've been vegan for it's just over 3 years now, and I was vegetarian for 7 or 8 years before that. Since I was about 18, so I'm 28 now, so it's been about I haven't eaten meat in 10 years. And obviously I cut out dairy and everything else as well. Yeah, I started as vegetarian because my ex was she was vegetarian since she was 12. Took me a couple of years to kind of think about it properly and realise I was eating vegetarian meals mainly, especially when I was with her. And I don't know, it's probably her influence and her family's influence, but obviously I was thinking about it myself, and I was just thinking, what am I doing? I don't I don't believe in killing things and hurting things and in all aspects of life. So why am I eating them and paying people to kill them and stuff like that? And it's it really wasn't in line with my morals and what I was actually thinking. So, but to be honest, at first I did kind of struggle, but that was because I hadn't researched it. And the way I found was best for me to do it was cut out first pork and stuff like that, and then I cut out beef, and then I cut out chicken, and then fish. I did it gradually.
Okay.
Some people can just go straight into it, and I think it doesn't work for everybody. But as long as you're going in the right direction, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I know that I could have just switched, but I didn't know. I didn't have that knowledge at the time, so But then, yeah, about 3 years ago, I realised what the dairy industry was doing, what was happening behind closed doors and stuff like that. And there's a lot of propaganda there. There's like the happy cow on cheese and milk and stuff like that. And it's and the chickens roaming, the grass and stuff like that. And it's only until you realise and you educate yourself on these topics, whether it's videos or talking to friends through meeting more vegans and stuff like that, really what's actually going on. And I know it's more widespread now because of social media and stuff. But yeah, it took me quite a few years to actually realise that I should be a vegan, basically. And I do feel bad for that, but I guess I'm vegan now, and that's the best I can do. And I guess I took it a little bit further. I did a bit of activism as well. I did. I was part of like a SAB group in and around Yorkshire, like stopping the hunters hunting the foxes. And I've done some protests for Camp Beagle in Hull and like near Humberside Airport, because that was the airport that MBR acres were using to transport the dogs to Ireland, basically.
Gotcha.
Or one of them. So we did there was, I don't know, maybe 30 people, 30, 40 people stood outside of there protesting it as they came in. So when I get time like that, I do I do enjoy doing the activism, spreading the word and stuff like that. And I've got some activist friends as well throughout the UK and in Germany and stuff as well. Yeah, it's obviously it's not very nice work, but you just have to. I don't know. I found myself as a vegan not doing that. I found myself thinking, is there anything else I can do? You know, I'm not eating animals or any products from animals, but yeah, I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I was not eating animals. I was not eating dairy and any products or wearing it or anything. And I just thought I can kind of help prevent more suffering and things like that by actually doing activism. Whether that's educating more people about places like MBR Acres and stuff like that, or just about what's going on behind closed doors in abattoirs and yeah, I just think I needed to do something else, and I wish I had more time to do more. To be honest, yeah,
that is quite a frustration, isn't it? That you know, you've still got to work,
yeah,
haven't you? So then it's finding the time to do the things like that.
yeah, exactly. Like working a full-time job, and obviously I have my music as well, and then visiting family and friends, and you do have a social life as well, and then. But I guess with like sabbing and stuff like that, there is a season for that, so they're not going to be doing it right now. I don't think anyway. It's mainly in the drier months because then they can get. They're on the horses, aren't they? And you know, going through the fields and stuff. But we've often chased the horses through fields and forests and stuff in Yorkshire and stuff like that.
Wow.
Luckily, I've not actually seen any foxes like be killed or anything, but I know the team that I've been out with have actually got footage of that happening, which is you know absolutely awful.
That'd be awful to watch, wouldn't it? To see part of, horrendous.
It would, like, you're there and you know the risk of it, you know, it's potentially going to happen, but you trying by any means to stop that. Like we've had drones in the sky and we've had you know, we've got the drivers going around and then there's people on foot. It's a big thing, but yet you know sometimes the hunters they apparently set trails on, you know, with the quad bikes and stuff like that, but sometimes they split up and they go different ways. Sometimes that, you know, they're playing. It's a game to them. It's an extra challenge to be able to get to the fox, and it's awful.
Awful people.
So
Absolutely.
all animals are lovely, but foxes are cool.
Yeah, I love foxes. One of my favourite animals. But yeah, of course, all animals. But the dogs are specifically going for the foxes, aren't they? That's what they're.
Yeah. It's horrendous.
Um,
and the dogs are treated awfully as well. It's not even like it's just the foxes that suffer.
Yeah, they don't care about the dogs either. The last one I was on, there was dogs. It was like in a ditch, but there was barbed wire everywhere, and you could see the dogs, like you could see the hounds coming through, and they were getting ripped to shreds, really. And it's the hunters don't care; they sat on the horses, and obviously, I don't agree with horse riding either.
No.
it's just everywhere, and you know, they're like hitting the horses to make them go faster, and then you know they're controlling these dogs. And yeah, we have dogs as pets and things, but most people actually look after them, don't they? And especially if you're rescuing dogs, you can actually rescue beagles. What have been in Camp Beagle? Camp Beagle's the activism thing. MBR Acres and other places like that where they've been suffering. Usually, once they've been worked on, they're disposed of, as they like to put it, and basically just being killed. It's the same with the dogs on the hunts as well, called culling season, and it's absolutely awful. And if a dog doesn't listen, then it gets culled, and it's absolutely it's upsetting. It's awful.
Yeah, I really don't like the word cull because what it really means is kill.
Yeah.
And yet
Exactly. Yeah.
they use cull, like the badger cull.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a recent thing, wasn't it?
Like call it what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes back to it is a form of propaganda, and it's the same.
It's like calling pork and bacon and things like that.
I was going to say, yeah. Like I said that earlier, and I said I cut out pork and beef and stuff, and it's pig and it's cow. It's to detract from actually what it is, so it doesn't seem as bad. A lot of people are brainwashed out there into that disconnection of animal to plate type thing, and then they have excuses like, well, I buy it locally and stuff. I know what happens to it. And they care about the animals. Yeah, whilst they're putting a bolt through their head.
Ethically sourced.
Yeah, it's
they only have one
impossible.
bad day.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've said this before. It's not everybody's fault, is it? It's society. It's the way people are being brought up, and you just have to. That's why there's things like this podcast and other activism around different knowledge bases, and that's why people stand in the street, apparently preaching, but we're just trying to educate people and just have chats, and it's really to test people's conscience and if they're consistent with their morals, really. Because we're a nation of animal lovers, but most people in Britain are actually eating animals every day, multiple times a day.
It's really pet lovers, isn't it?
It is pet lovers, yeah. And what defines a pet? Because some people have pet pigs as well, and what is the difference between a dog and a pig? A pig is actually more intelligent, and you can train them more than a dog, actually. And birds as well. Like there's crows and magpies and all sorts. Like I know we don't eat those, but I'm sure somebody has. And like you ask a random person on the street if you'd want to eat some crow, they're going to turn it down. But then they'd walk into KFC and get some chicken. It's all just messed up, isn't it? Like nothing's consistent.
No, this is it.
I mean, vegan activists and whatever have talked about speciesism quite a lot. It is a thing. And you've just blown my mind. I hadn't even thought about birds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't eat a crow or a raven or anything, but we eat a chicken and that's okay. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, it's just an extra thing to add to the list, isn't it? What's wrong with the world?
This is okay to eat and this isn't. Why? What's the difference?
Yeah, there's a very grey line, isn't there? A very thin line between a pet and what's deemed acceptable to eat. It's awful.
Yeah.
Our previous guest Giles, who was on episode 68, I think he was, he posted a TikTok recently where he and I think it was Marlin actually were out doing a Elwood's dog meat tasting in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And they got one woman really, really good because she was clearly so upset that they were even talking about eating dog.
Yeah.
And she was like, but they're pets. Like, no, they're not pets. These are meat dogs.
These are
they're
bred specifically
bred
for
to be eaten.
Yeah.
And this woman was just like, how can you do this? How can you do this? And they were like, well, don't you eat other animals? And she was like,
yeah, but that's different kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. The sort of mental gymnastics people have to do to make it okay to keep doing what they do. It's just incredible.
It is a guilt thing. It is a guilt thing. Like a meat eater will always get defensive as soon as they start feeling shame or guilt, or that you're questioning their morals.
Yep.
Yeah.
always. And this is the point, isn't it? You need to be open-minded enough to just talk to people, communicate, rather than shouting and getting angry and defensive about it. If you understand everybody's point of view, you're actually going to go a lot further. Even if you come out of it the other end and you think, nah, I still disagree, you should never shun anybody for their opinion. You should always take both sides and discuss it first, as an adult, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Some people you can't help, and they're always going to be so stubborn. They might listen to you, but they're always going to be stubborn about their opinion. But you've planted that seed, so 10 years down the line, they might actually realise. You just never know.
Absolutely.
But most people, I think, if you actually, it's like the activists who stand on the street with the screens and stuff like that, showing footage from slaughterhouses and things like that. It's people actually shy away from it. They don't want to see it, and they find it disgusting, which obviously it is.
Which is the idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a shock factor thing, isn't it? Like, but people still, they get defensive about it. Oh, I don't want to watch that. You shouldn't be showing that. There's children on the street, but yeah, you're going home and feeding them chicken nuggets or something.
Yeah.
When, to be honest, corn nuggets are just as good, aren't they? I know
Yeah,
people
this is it.
who
If you're
prefer
gonna,
corn nuggets over chicken nuggets anyway. But like, you know,
and if you're going to do that, then people should know the truth, shouldn't they? If you're going to eat it, you should know where it comes from.
Exactly, and it's the best place to start because children don't want to hurt animals. It's not in our nature to want to do that. And again, it starts at birth, doesn't it? You're brainwashed into eating meat and dairy and stuff like that, and it's or wearing leather, and you know, anything like that is from birth and from childhood.
Yeah.
So you know, we have vegan families now, and you know, they're teaching the right way now that it's, you know, wrong to cause any suffering or pain to animals, let alone eating them.
Exactly.
I always think I'd love to like say to those carnist families, show this footage to your child.
Yeah.
And they will always go, I ain't showing them that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Does that not say quite a lot about why it's wrong?
Yeah. Again, it's detracting from the point, isn't it? They're shying away from it. They don't want to watch it because it questions their morals. They feel bad about it and they feel guilt and shameful and stuff. But then they still want to eat it.
Well, this is it. We've had a few people on who have said the reason that they didn't go vegan before was because they didn't want to watch anything, because they didn't want to accept that.
Yeah, that's all
they
it
would
is.
have to do something about it.
Yeah, it is true, and I guess a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
In my case, I didn't actually realise. Genuinely didn't realise, and that's fair enough. And as soon as I did learn about it, I was like, oh, I can't do it. And it was literally an overnight decision. I was speaking to a friend of mine in Germany, who's a vegan, and she helped me by sending me vegan like recipes and photos of what she was making and stuff like that. And we were chatting and stuff like about veganism in general and stuff. And yeah, like as I said, oh, I'm gonna do it, and I did it overnight. And then we kind of were sending each other, like say recipes and stuff to each other. And she'd already been vegan for a while and done activism in Germany, and but yeah, it just really did help me actually having somebody to chat to who had already gone through that change of vegetarian to vegan. Yeah, it did help a lot.
So what did the rest of your friends and family think about it when you changed?
I guess at first people used to make fun a little bit, really, and you know, laugh about it. But then, you know, oh, it's a phase type thing, isn't it? Like, and then they try to question you as if you're the weird one, you're the extreme one. But if I do something, I stick to my guns, and you know, I make a decision, that's the decision I'm sticking with. And yeah, I stuck to it, and people, family members and friends, they had to accept that it was my choice. They've got no influence on what I wanted to do, basically, and nobody should be scared of making that change. If you're feeling something, you know it's wrong, so make the change. But yeah, I was laughed at and stuff, and even when you're asking in some restaurants, like, oh, have you got the vegan option? And they're like, yeah, fuck off. And it's like, but it's it's that type of thing, isn't it? And like, we can laugh about it, but it is awful.
Yeah.
I went into one before, and into a restaurant, and it was a work meal, and I thought, oh, I'll go a week before. I'll walk in, and because they had no email address and stuff, so I thought I'll go in and ask if they can prepare me something, because there was nothing on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
I said, have you got anything on the menu what you could make vegan or something like that? And they were like, oh, what was it? I don't know. It was a girl. She was probably in her 20s as well. So I was like, come on, you know what vegetarian at least is, or vegan.
Yeah.
And she went, well, can't you have this? And she pointed to a chicken Caesar salad. And,
Some wafer thin ham, Barbara.
Yeah. I said, no, because it's got chicken in it, and it's, probably the dressing and stuff. It's probably got some kind of, whether it's milk powder or anyway up to some kind of milk product anyway. Like, I said, most likely I can't have that, even if you take the chicken out. And then she asked me what vegan was, and it shocked me, and I was like, fair enough, she's a young girl, but like, you see it all the time on social media, and it's even on the news and stuff, and just you probably know someone who's a veggie or something, don't you? At least.
I think for the younger folk, young folk, it's
Yeah.
the stats are amazing. It's like 20% of them are vegan or something, or vegan or vegetarian, aren't they? Like you say, you would surely know someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time I was what? I think I was 26 at the time. It was a couple of years, maybe 25 or something. Yeah, it really did shock me, and it still shocks me now thinking about it. But some places still don't cater appropriately for it, and it's an easy thing to do. What I actually ended up eating on that night, because I'd actually forgotten that I was vegan. They said they'd written it down. They did this kind of stir fry thing, and it was a weird thing. It was very dry. It had no sauce on it or anything. It was half a potato. I was like, what happened to the other half of it? And then it was portobello mushroom, which is a classic. And then it was like really thin strips, like stir fried carrot and stuff like that. And there was no sauce with it, and
that sounds disgusting.
I was actually hungry after I'd eaten that. I was like,
it's good for your waistline. You can lose weight while you're eating it. That is rubbish.
So I had to sit there, and I sat there whilst my colleagues ate steaks and all sorts, and I was like, "This,
that's even worse."
Yeah, I shouldn't have just come here, like. But yeah, and that's a big thing, isn't it? Like, some people take that oath of not even sitting at the same table as people eating meat or dairy, and I totally get it. I have a friend in Germany. He's done a lot of activism in Berlin and all over, and he wears like a fork around his wrist to represent, it's like made into a bracelet.
Oh, wow.
And he's actually made that oath, and he's said to his family, and it's caused so many things, like, arguments and stuff. He refuses to go anywhere where people are actually eating meat. He won't sit on the same table, and that means not sitting at the same table at Christmas and birthdays and things like that. I have friends what don't go to places unless it is vegan food, Totally understandable.
Fair play to those people that A, want to do that, and B, do that. we were saying in the intro about I've come off social media because of that, the negative interactions between vegans themselves about
Yeah,
you're not vegan.
like within that community, yeah.
And you get the people that have signed the plant-based treaty, moaning that we're not enough. So
Yes.
you go do that if that's what you want to do, and you're doing fantastic. You should be really proud of yourself, and I'm proud of you for doing it. I couldn't. That doesn't mean I'm not enough.
Yeah, exactly. It is. There's different extremes to it, isn't there? There's different levels, and I think as long as you believe that you are doing enough and you're constantly learning and questioning your own morals, I think that's what's most important.
That's an
It's
important
like,
thing.
yeah, it's like I don't know, if you use a certain shampoo. I mean, we probably don't, but, unless it's for our beards. But um, you could use a certain shampoo all your life, and then you find out it's not. It might be tested on animals, or it might use something what's not really vegan or something, and it's like,
do you know what comes to mind there, Tony?
What's that?
Vimto.
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, I know I shouldn't be drinking squash, but I used to, and I used to drink Vimto, and then they started adding in. I think it was vitamin D3, was it, that was made out of some extract from sheep's wool?
It's lanolin.
I was like, "Fuck off! What are you doing that for?"
Like it's good enough before that. Why are you adding it in like that?
Yeah.
And I know it's adding more vitamins
Pricks.
or whatever, but get it from elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's an example. Or if the shampoo thing, or you find out some clothing isn't really vegan friendly, you question your morals, and you question that, and you find an alternative. And I think as long as you're doing that, then you've got nothing to worry about.
That's it.
Things I don't know. Things don't always happen overnight, and it's like sometimes, like what I did, I cut things out gradually, and then from veggie to vegan, it was overnight for me. Because by that time, I'd actually become like more knowledgeable of it, and I already had more empathy through the process of it all and stuff like that. And put yourself in another being's shoes, and you go from there, don't you? And it's like, say, if you're making the right changes in your life, then you can't really complain.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely.
But yeah, some people are very extreme about it, and I think, you've got to that point where you can think like that, but you can't shun other people who are also on that journey.
Yeah.
You've got to help them in any way and support, and you've got to see that they're doing or trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
It could come down to being like a young person. They could be fresh out of college or something. They've got no money, and they can't afford to just scrap all the clothes now and all the products because they've spent hundreds on it.
That's it.
And you might say, "Oh, I'll use the shampoo until the end of the bottle, and then I'll be able to start buying things because I'll save some more money by then." Like that type of thing.
Yes, this is it. So our friend Michelle from the Veg Your Best podcast calls it vegan practice because, like a doctor, it's not practice as in you're preparing for doing it for real. It's practice as in you're constantly learning and adapting and finding out new things. And I'm not the same vegan now that I was 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Definitely, yeah.
Everything is completely different. You're constantly evolving from
it's a
one thing
long
to another.
process.
That's it.
And whichever stage you're at, you're doing the right thing, aren't you? As long as you are looking into it and chatting to people about it and questioning those morals and choices that you're making.
That's it.
As long as you're doing everything practically possible to reduce animal suffering, then you're doing enough.
And that's the whole point of veganism, isn't it? Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody claims to be perfect.
Oh, some of the people on Instagram are. They're claiming it all the time.
They don't post about anything, but they always comment on somebody else's and say, "You're shit. You're shit."
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, they sit up there on their high horse.
yeah,
No, that's not
there's
vegan.
like any
Popular thought.
like any type of movement like this, you get extremists, and you know, whether it's veganism or anything else, you're always going to have that. And people, you know, there are narcissists and there are people who have an ego and stuff still within all communities and everything. And people
Yes.
are always going to be looking down on people, and you just have to be a nice person, don't you? That's you
Mhm.
know, that also comes into questioning everything, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
constantly learning. Like I might have said something before when I was veggie. When I first turned veggie, I was like, "Oh, I'll go veggie," but veganism, it's a bit extreme for me. I'll never be a vegan. I'm sure plenty of
Definitely
people
said
around.
that.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people around the world have said that, and
Mm.
you know, then you do when you get to this point where you are vegan, and it's like, why on earth did I say that? Because it's not extreme at all. But it's because of all of the reasons, such as you know, society brainwashing you with propaganda and
Yep.
just not thinking about it. And you know, you mature as a person, don't you? And you
Yes.
think more.
Which is the whole point of the film. I Could Never Go Vegan. I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw that at Vegan Camp Out this year, Tony, but it
Yeah,
just lines up all the different arguments that people use against veganism and just knocks them down.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. And you know, there are a select. Yeah, there's a number of excuses that people do, and there's they're all. If you look into it further enough, you know, not even if I don't know, just beneath the surface, there's always a way to counteract that. You know, that excuse of not being vegan or you shouldn't be vegan because of this. You know, where do you get your protein from? Blah blah blah. You know, it's you know, there's vegan bodybuilders, and there's again with social media, there's plenty of um, channels and you know profiles on there where it's literally about vegan food and specifically for anything, you know, such as bodybuilding and stuff. The internet's full of everything, isn't it? Like,
Mhm.
search it, you find it. So you can never use the excuse that you're stuck for
No,
like meals and stuff like
No.
that. It's,
definitely not.
You can
Definitely.
search for a meal and just put vegan at the end of it,
there's going to be a
It'll come up.
variation, isn't
and
there?
there'll be a
100%.
recipe for it. So it's like
100%.
it's really not hard.
Yeah. Okay, Tony. Oh, sorry, go
Especially
on.
now. That's no problem. Just going to say, especially like I don't know, in the past 5 years or so, last 5 years, there's been a lot more things in supermarkets, and
Yeah,
everything's more available to everybody, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that's it. We're very lucky here. All right. What's well, apart from all the food that's available, what's the best thing about being vegan?
um, I don't know. I probably already addressed it. I think it's the constant. Um, I'm constantly questioning myself and wanting to learn more. I've also through that become more empathic.
Oh,
Is that the word? I have
Yeah.
more empathy.
yeah.
um, yeah, and I think, yeah, I don't know really. It's about meeting people for me as well, like-minded people. You know, people are always constantly asking, "Oh, why are you vegan? Why are you vegan?" So it's nice to actually meet vegan people.
Mm.
You don't have to go through all that bullshit side of it, basically. Like it's, you know, you're already on the same page, and yeah,
Yeah.
you do address it because it's good to talk about. But it's yeah, like at vegan camp out this year, I met some friends who I'd known from Instagram or previously just elsewhere. But then I also met new people as well. Um, one of my friends, Martin Vistopia, as well. You guys know.
Mhm.
He recommended this channel to me as well, and that's one of the reasons why I messaged you guys and you know chatted like that. We met up at Vegan Camp Out and we played some music together, and we will be in the future as well. I'll be playing some banjo on one of his songs.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it's things like that. You're networking within the community, and it's you know, of course, I would like to find a partner I want to find a girlfriend what's vegan. So yeah, for any listeners.
All right, we'll start up. We'll start up How I Vegan podcast dating now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you do, and like I say, you don't have to go through all that explanation at the beginning. It's good to talk about, but you can get on to deeper conversations and find interests. Like I've been on dates before, and you realise that they're not actually veggie or anything. If you meet someone in the street and like, yeah, I can't do that. I've got to be with a vegan, veggie at least, because they're on the right path. But yeah, it's all well and good meeting these people, like non-meat eaters, and I'm sure there's plenty of meat eaters, but they're going to be really nice people. But I just could never be with them, for example.
No. It's a really tricky situation, that, because I was reading something earlier on, bizarrely enough, that someone had commented, I think it was on a Facebook post, but they said someone had put something like, I could never, like you just said, I could never live with a meat eater.
Yeah.
And someone else had put, well, I live with my partner and I do the cooking, so he eats vegan at home because I won't have animal products in the house.
Yeah.
So he's eating more vegan food than he would if we weren't together.
Yeah.
But he's not vegan as such.
Outside of the house and stuff, like he'll go to a restaurant and
he might eat meat outside or whatever. So, but that is still better than eating animals 7 days a week.
Of course it is. But even so, in my opinion, anyway,
I would really struggle with it. I would
struggle with it.
Which is funny for Wes to say, because his wife did that for years with him.
Yeah.
With you, didn't she, Wes?
Yeah. So, best part of 15 years, I was eating meat with her.
Yeah.
She was already vegan.
She
For
tried
a lot of it.
And she tried a few times to explain it to me, and I was like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening at all. And then that one fateful night, that was it. I was done. Cowspiracy has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, but it proves that these things work, doesn't it? Like it does show what's going on. But yeah, I mean, when I was with my ex, she was veggie for, like I say, since she was 12. We met when we were 15 at school, and it was like 3 years where I was eating meat and she was veggie. So like people do it.
Yeah.
I've got to this point now where I couldn't.
No,
I physically makes me feel sick if I see it. So because you know what it is, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is it.
And you sat there silently going, "Do you know what you're doing? Why are you doing it?" But you can't say anything because it's just going to create a problem. Oh, he's off again.
Yeah, but this is the thing, isn't it? Like, it does cause more problems. And if you are with a veggie or a vegan that actually understands it, then you know you're gonna you skip past that, and there's no arguments about it because you're on the same page.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is a difficult one, and obviously it's up to the individual.
Absolutely, yeah.
But personally, I couldn't at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this Sunday night you're going to be in London at a gig, yeah? So anyone that's there, female or male.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a long distance romance, though, wouldn't it? So
it would. I've done further before, but yeah.
Holy moly!
But yeah, that didn't really work, I guess.
Yeah, you never know, though. You never know.
You never know. If you make the effort, and you're meant for each other, it works, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Imagine that in 20 years' time. How did you meet? Well, I heard him on this podcast, and I heard he was going to be playing at this gig.
We'll get invites to the wedding.
I went to the gig, and we fell in love, and it was great. And
well, hopefully it's neither of you two.
You've got more chance of Matthew going because I'm in Manchester, so no.
Oh dear.
Anyway, moving on rapidly. What's your favourite quick meal? Your quick go-to meal?
I eat a lot of Mexican food, really. Italian food's quick, but I don't know. When I'm hitting the gym and stuff a bit more, I go to wraps a lot, like fajitas and stuff. I'll either go for tofu or tempeh, or I'll go for like a chicken alternative. Like wraps are good at that. You can do anything. Or I'll go for like a mince type thing. I don't know. Anything like that with peppers and other vegetables like that. I'll have Cajun spice, or I'll go for fried chicken style wraps. Anything like that where I'm getting the protein as well as the veg, and obviously the main thing, it tastes nice as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
You definitely need your protein. You don't want to be protein deficient going to the gym.
Yeah, well, I've
Can you
had
imagine?
a couple of scares there. I've almost died from protein deficiency before.
I have died. I am dead.
That well-known illness. Yeah, protein deficiency.
Well, all vegans are dead inside anyway, apparently. So, but our lives are so boring, aren't they? Because we don't eat animals. But yeah.
All we eat is cardboard and grass. That's it. All right. So apart from cardboard and grass, what's your favourite vegan food product?
Tree bark.
Tree bark, yeah. I really like the hopefully I can pronounce it right. I should. The Vega bar. It's the chocolate bar. What tastes a bit like Nutella. It's got
Yes.
hazelnuts and stuff in it.
Yeah.
There's a whole range of it. There's like
they do like a white chocolate one as well, don't they? Yeah.
That's right, the white chocolate ones. I like the original. That's my favourite. It's the best chocolate bar I've ever had, to be honest. But
Wow.
they also do.
It's a bold statement.
Oh yeah, I'll stand by that. But they do the spread as well, and they do all sorts in it. Yeah, absolutely love it. I've got quite a sweet tooth, I guess. I'm trying to think of a savoury thing that I like. I just love food, to be honest. So if it tastes good and it's vegan, I'll have it, and I will not complain at all.
Nice.
Fair enough. What is your favourite vegan not food product?
I'll always say clothing. I guess. With being on stage and stuff, I like to dress smartly and stuff. And I have the hat that I wear usually. It's got like a leather band on it. It's people call it a cowboy hat, but it's not. It's a wide brim fedora. But just to be specific there. But yeah, it's it's country style, I guess. That's a vegan leather belt on it. I wear a vegan leather belt. And yeah, any of the clothes that I wear are obviously vegan. I've got like a jacket which looks like suede. I think it's called moleskin, which is and some boots to match as well. And it's not hard to do. Basically, you look on Vinted. I like to get secondhand stuff as well. Vinted or anything on the internet, really. You just search it. Again, you find it, don't you? So yeah, probably clothes to answer your question.
Nice. All right. Favorite vegan restaurants?
Vegan restaurants. That's another hard one because there's so many. Specifically in Hull, there's Hitchcock's, which I've still not been to since we last spoke. And that's
This
all
is the
vegan
first time
and
we've ever
veggie
spoke.
What is he talking about?
What is he talking about?
Sorry, it must have been a dream. I have been dreaming about it.
I've been dreaming, but it's been more like nightmares.
Oh, thanks. Do you want to leave now? Yeah. No, there's Hitchcock's. It's really nice. Apparently, there's it's like an all-you-can-eat thing. First person to call up and kind of book the evening gets to choose the theme of the night.
Oh wow!
And that's not fancy dress. It's what the cuisine is, Yeah, so you can literally say, I want some American style food today, or German food, or Italian food, and they'll make a full banquet of stuff, all you can eat,
Amazing.
vegan and veggie, and it's all obviously, the stuff what's not vegan is it's signed, it's there. But yeah, I also love.
Sorry, so
Well,
once that first person has said, "This is what I'm going to eat now,"
that's the theme
that's the
for the
theme
night.
for the evening.
Yeah,
Wow.
so like if I called up and said something, I chose the theme Caribbean or something, and then you guys called up and you wanted to book for that night, you'd have to have Caribbean.
Wicked.
So
It's
yeah,
amazing.
it's just a nice kind of incentive to like call up early and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
but
Love
that's
that.
been going for years, that in Hull.
What a great idea.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, there's Blondes as well, which I think you've heard of before as well.
Mm.
And that's in a little town called Cottingham, and that's an all vegan shop and cafe. They do anything from vegan dog treats to sweets to cooked meals, sandwiches, cakes, everything. And that's one of my favourite places ever, to be honest. Everyone's really nice there, as you can probably imagine. It's dog friendly, as you can imagine. And they do a lot of stuff for activists as well. Activism. They always host a protest thing on Boxing Day, because there's always a hunt
A hunt.
on Boxing Day or
Of course there is, yeah.
things like that. So you've had a couple of days of eating them on the plates, and then you're back to it, hunting them on the next day. But I've attended that a couple of times as well, and it's just to show a presence, really. But you get members of the public shouting at you again with places like that, and it's awful. They just don't see past it.
No, that's rubbish. Yeah, that Blondes, we went there.
Yeah,
We didn't go there. Sorry, I found it because we went on holiday. Um,
sure.
the last time we spoke, I couldn't remember it. I've just checked. We
Okay.
went near Hornsey.
Oh, that's right. Like pretty much near me. It's like
Right.
a town or two away from me.
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
15 minutes in the car.
Yes. So we stayed there, and I was looking for places, and that Blondes came up. We just didn't make it.
It would be worth just driving out to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I know of people who specifically go for like a weekend just to visit that shop.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
That's
because they
incredible.
have a social media presence as well, and
Social.
and they've been going for 20 odd years. I think they started as a veggie shop, but they definitely became the area's only vegan, all vegan shop and cafe type thing.
Wicked.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Love that.
Who are your favourite vegan people? Celebrities, friends, whoever.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's my friends. That I wouldn't be vegan because of some of them, including my friend Mona in Germany, specifically her. But then, obviously, yeah, other friends that I've met along the way. I'll shout out to Martin again.
Hashtag
And yeah, and I met there was a girl in the Netherlands I met actually through. She was doing activism. I was walking in the street, and she was like, she approached me, and she's called Priya, and she's a chef in the Netherlands. I don't know if probably some of the listeners will have her on Instagram, but yeah, she's a chef in the Netherlands, and she does beautiful food, and all the videos look amazing. So I always meet people wherever I travel, or I try to.
Yeah.
But yeah, celebrities. I guess I'm really into comedy. So there's Ricky Gervais. He's vegan, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he does like activism stuff. There's Joaquin Phoenix. He's been vegan since he was 3. He's done a lot of stuff
Definitely.
for activism, for animals. Yeah, and they're kind of the prominent ones that I see a lot or pay attention to. There was obviously the Brian May thing as well with RSPCA, the assured scheme for the farms and stuff, which is a load of rubbish. But he resigned recently.
Yes.
So things do change, don't they? When people realise.
Yeah, definitely.
Eventually, these kind of schemes they vanish, don't they? Because enough people are against it.
Yeah, and they get shown to be the money making scam that they are.
Yeah,
That's all it is, really, isn't it?
RSPCA in particular, like they've got, it's literally in the name, isn't it? Like they're there to protect animals and prevent suffering, but then they're putting their stamp on farms which are killing them. It's
bizarre.
Hypocrites.
Massive.
And that's one reason I became vegan, is because I was a hypocrite. I was saying I cared about animals, and I was still eating products that was causing suffering.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. What advice would you give to anyone who's thinking about going vegan?
Make the small steps if you can't do it overnight. I think I've said this before. Always question your choices. Try to make the right choices, which sways away from any form of suffering. And yeah, just be a nice person, isn't it? Really, that's if you're a nice person and in touch with your morals and you're consistent, then you will become a vegan.
Yeah.
It's but I would always say research stuff yourself. Don't believe everything on the internet, because there's always propaganda from both sides as well.
Yeah.
If you can make your own mind up through real sources and chatting with friends and stuff as well, then you're doing the right thing, aren't you? Like you're doing it for the right reasons. Then, if you actually believe, if you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've said before about when you went like. I don't think I was aware of it when I went vegan 6 years ago. But
yeah,
when you do have that first realization, immersing yourself in as much information as you can in that first 6 months,
definitely,
so you can understand why.
Yeah,
why
there's so much content.
Why the wool has been pulled over your eyes and why you've accepted that wool.
Yeah, and it's in every aspect of your life. That's the issue.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
From birth, you see it on TV, you see it at home. You sit on leather chairs or phone cases are leather, and anything from that, or to visiting farms and zoos and things like that. It's literally everywhere. You're surrounded by it. So I don't blame anybody that hasn't seen it yet.
No.
And I think that's the difference between being an extreme vegan, where, like you said, you're shunning people, and being understanding and willing to actually interact with people. And I'm nobody in terms of, I'm not qualified to educate people, but from my own experiences and the things, I can point people in the right direction, whether that's from personal experiences or to actual proven sources on the internet. With veganism being for a multiple, there's multiple different reasons to become vegan, not just the animals. It's the environment as well. There's health reasons. What's the leading causes of death in the UK? It's heart disease and cancer, isn't it?
Not protein deficiency.
Yeah, exactly. And if it was, then then we'd have to look somewhere else, wouldn't they, or make more of an effort?
It just made me think as well. I've heard a lot of people say about, being vegan isn't very good for your health, and it's like, well, I've been vegan 6 years now, and I'm doing okay. And
Exactly.
I've had a couple of colds. I got COVID twice. Apart from that, I've been a lot healthier than
everybody
that.
did. Yeah.
And they go, but over the long term. Yeah, but over the long term, if you're eating meat, there's a chance you'll get heart disease and cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
much
is,
higher
you know,
chance.
it's
What
proven,
does
isn't
that
it?
matter?
Proven, like red meat is it's going to drastically increase. I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head, but drastically increases the chances of cancer and heart disease.
Yeah,
Mm.
People still do that.
yeah,
And cancer's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Obviously, that's why it's the the leading death thing, isn't it? And like with heart disease and stuff, people get diagnosed with these illnesses, and then they don't change. And
No.
if it's got to that point, and you're still not realizing it, then you just can't be helped, can you? That's
No.
in my opinion.
It makes me wonder as well.
No.
And someone's probably going to message us, Matthew. Sorry, you're going to have to put up with that one. But Cancer Research UK,
Yeah,
which bit are they not researching that understands that the
yeah,
leading cause of cancer is meat and dairy?
yeah. The stats are
We
out
know
there.
that being on this side,
Yeah.
but how come the people that are getting paid loads of money to research cancer aren't seeing that and telling people about it?
Yeah, the amount of money that gets pumped into cancer research every single day is unbelievable. And
Mm.
I get that cancer is different for every single person. Like
Yes.
my own dad passed away from cancer when I was 11. It's like 17 odd years ago now. And he was only 40. And the thing is, he was healthy in all aspects of life, and he did swimming, football, karate from a young age, all the way up to being like ill. Basically,
Mm.
he was a very active person, and he did eat meat, and but it was a brain cancer,
Right.
cancerous brain tumor. But
Oh.
you can never pinpoint it exactly at the moment. And I would not like it might have been that, or it might have been other things. You breathe something in. There's other carcinogens like around, isn't there? Of course. Pollution in cities or
Your phone is a carcinogen.
exactly. There's things in everywhere that is a carcinogen, like open fires. If you burn some food, that's technically a carcinogen. It's there's stuff, and it's a mutation of a cell, isn't it? Basically, and then your body just doesn't stop producing it. And you can never pinpoint it exactly at the moment, or according to cancer research, anyway. Yeah, it's a difficult one because there's all that money going into it, and it is different for every person, and it depends on when you catch it, and
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I try to live life where I'm enjoying myself, but I'm trying to do as much as I can to try and prevent it because nobody wants that. And that's why I go to the gym, and that's why I do eat healthily. And there are plenty of vegans that don't eat healthily. There's a lot of processed food, and it's not just for health, is it? Veganism. There's plenty of other reasons, like we've addressed. But all I can do.
I had a vegan Kit Kat today for the animals.
Yeah, but exactly, you're doing it there because for the animals, it's not for the health reason. But everyone's allowed to enjoy themselves, aren't they? That's the thing.
That's it.
I smashed in a pack of biscuits the other day, and it's like
for the animals.
Easily done, isn't it? Which one?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm eating this for the animals.
Yeah, but
that's
I'm not claiming I'm like this health freak, and like even if I was, fair enough. But I still like to enjoy myself and go for meals out, and
of course,
have like a vegan burger or chocolate or anything. But then if you're making the right choices, if you're doing that and then you go into the gym or you're exercising or whatever, it counteracts that. The problems come about where you're eating all this rubbish, processed, whether it's vegan or not, and then you sat doing nothing. That's when problems start.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, we're coming near the end.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned yours and our mate Martin off of Vistopia.
Yeah.
We found out about dystopia because of the word dystopia, meaning the anguish we feel living in a carnist world.
Yeah.
So, do you have hope for the future?
Yeah, definitely. Veganism is it's a movement that's growing rapidly.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a good sign in general. More people seem to have more empathy. It's whether it's things. There was sayings before, wasn't there? There was like "man up" and stuff like that, and
Ugh.
it's a lot of rubbish. Like whether it's things like that where men, I guess, 'cause I don't know. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. It's in my experience, there's been more problems and kind of more fun being poked at me from men
Yeah.
about being
Yes.
vegan, because it's this big manly thing. I need a steak and
Mm.
like that type of thing.
Mhm.
If you stand by your morals and you stand by what you want to do, then it doesn't really matter either way if they're saying that or not. But I've actually found through meeting people at vegan camp out and just friends of friends and stuff, there are more and more men becoming vegan as well. And alongside all of that, whether you are of any gender, you've got people have got more empathy. It seems they're communicating more and they're not becoming. Yeah, it's a difficult one to explain, really. I know certainly I've witnessed more empathy and more people becoming vegan, and it just seems better. I know
Yeah.
for myself, I keep learning and improving, so I've hope for myself, you know. But you also look, veganism is everywhere. It's on social media. It's in the news. It's
Yeah.
in the supermarkets. It's in restaurants. Some restaurants. But yeah, everything is growing, and it seems to be becoming more acceptable. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because I think for a long time people were shunned for being
Mm.
vegetarian, even.
Yeah.
And yeah, the movement's growing. People are becoming more aware, and they're going away from eating meat. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. I think, like you say, it's that man up thing you say about
Yeah,
the stigma around like men's mental health and men talking and men opening up and being more emotional and more in
yeah,
touch with that sort of thing. And then, like in the film Game Changers, they say about be a man and eat this burger.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it all sort of comes under the same umbrella. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
if as society we're all starting to, like you said, we're becoming more empathic and more
yeah,
in touch with emotions and positive emotions as well.
yeah,
Then yeah, I think I agree with you. It's like if the three of us can go from meat eating to where we are now, then
yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the whole man up thing. There's plenty of other sayings, and I'm sure it's stereotypes for different genders and sexes, isn't it? Basically, like
yeah,
there's plenty of stuff, and we all know what they are. And again, it's all cultural as well. There's different,
yep,
there's a lot of Asian countries which Western people think they eat dogs and stuff, and even that's actually because that's reducing as well. Like things do get bred out over generations, and because of I guess that's positives of social media and stuff, really, isn't it? And like
yeah,
you can search the internet and find something from a little town across the world, and 50 years ago that would have been almost impossible, probably,
Mm.
to find that out. So 100 years, you wouldn't even dream about it. But
no,
nowadays you can see whatever you want, and things. The knowledge base widens, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
you have access to all of this stuff, and you can kind of make a um, yeah, you can just make your judgment on it, and it just makes it a lot easier to
yeah.
do that.
You can get an informed. You can make an informed decision.
Informed decision, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's the words I was trying to find.
I didn't want to finish a sentence off. I was waiting for you to get to the end of the sentence to then come in.
Yeah. It's I don't know what's wrong with me today. I've been stuttering all over the place.
It's all right. It's all good.
It's been great. Yes, thanks so much, Tony. That's been fantastic. Really enjoyed it, and broadly the same conversation that we had last week, but with a few extra bits and bobs. So that's been good. It's been good.
Actually, we've gone 25 minutes longer.
Have we
Yeah,
really?
it's probably all my stuttering, but
No, definitely not.
I tried to, I believe these things, so it's obviously going to come out the same. But
Yes.
I've been thinking of other things as well, and
Yeah.
On the spot things come out, don't they, as well? So
Oh, of course,
definitely.
Of course.
That's been great.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And other than the Dukes of Highgate on Sunday, are there any more gigs lined up that you can plug that people can find you, or where's the best place to find out about your forthcoming appearances?
Because my mind's all over the place today, I think it's the ADHD. I think probably the best place is Instagram. I can't think of any gigs off the top of my head, but I do solo gigs and I do band gigs as well. But I always post them on Instagram, and it's at Tony Beacock Music. I'm also on Facebook, and obviously on Spotify and any other streaming services you can listen to my music. But feel free to send me a message or view my stories and posts, and you'll see what I'm up to.
Cool.
And where I'm playing.
Awesome. You are now on my Spotify playlist, which we did mention last time, that is 530 hours long. It hasn't come on yet, but you never know.
Yeah, and that's just not my song either.
I could pretend I've worked this out straight away, but I did it last week. 21 days, that is, of continuous music without hearing the same song twice. I know, like Absolute Radio do the no repeat guarantee between 9 and 5 during the day, but Wes, you're really taking it to an extreme there.
Pushing the limit.
Well, I know
3
Spotify
weeks.
had to kind of like the algorithm for their shuffle. This is the computer scientist in me speaking now, but they had to program it specifically to be more random, or which way was it? Less random, because just the way random works, it was actually just throwing stuff up. So they had to kind of like, once it's played, they have to exclude it, type thing. Even though you do find sometimes that it comes up with the same band or something like that.
Yeah, like that. I've got, like I said, 530 hours of music on this playlist, and it will still throw up like Genesis and then Genesis again. I'm like, seriously? Put some Led Zeppelin or
yeah. But even so, like, every time you go to that playlist and you press play, it's starting that full algorithm again, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's restarting the shuffle.
Yeah.
So of course,
what Tony's saying, Wes, is just have his songs on a playlist and put that on constantly.
Yeah, I mean, don't leave it to chance. Like, just go straight to.
So scroll to Tony's music. Start there and then shuffle.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with the amounts you get from Spotify plays, you'd need to play it about 1,000 times for him to make like 50p or something.
Yeah, so you're welcome to do that.
That's not going to happen, is it?
No.
You never know. With Spotify's shuffle algorithm, you never know.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, listeners, this is your challenge to get Tony's plays increased to make sure that he can keep buying his wide brim fedoras and vegan cowboy boots.
And if you want to take him out on a date, then Sunday night.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't wear cowboy boots, by the way, because
okay.
I just don't like them.
Fine.
But yeah, I wear boots, but yeah.
Okay.
That's not the most important thing right now, though.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Tony. That's been fantastic. So great to speak to you, and all the best.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
Right,
And
this
now
time
we press
I'm
stop.
going to press stop, and hopefully this one's recorded.
Coffee with milk, please.
We only have plant milk. Is that okay?
Stop! It's not okay. And if something like this has happened to you, you need to call me, Seymour Loudermilk, right now. If you've had your feelings hurt by a vegan, you could be entitled to compensation.
Oat milk, soy milk, almond milk?
No thanks. I'll have louder milk, and I'll see you in court.
Get more with Seymour. Call 866-HATE-VEGANS. HateVegans.com.
What a lovely, lovely, lovely man.
Great chat that was, and all the better because we did it last week and he came back when I realised I hadn't pressed record.
Yeah.
So thanks, Tony, for that. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, massive, massive respect. I enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll meet him when he comes to Manchester in February. That'd be cool.
And we'll look forward to seeing him on the stage at Vegan Camp Out one year, perhaps. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah.
That would be great. Awesome. Well, thanks very much for listening, everybody. This has been a long episode, hasn't it? Hopefully you're still here. And if you are, hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't enjoyed it and you're still here, then probably give your head a wobble.
I hope everybody enjoyed my monotonous tones over the new microphone. It is what it is.
There we go. The content's not better, but you can hear it more clearly.
Yes. Yeah. I still talk shit. It just sounds like polished shit.
Well, they say you can't polish a turd, but
there you go.
I think we've just proved that we have.
We have just proved it wrong. So, fuck them all.
And on that bombshell, let's call it a day. If you want to get in touch, then come and find us on Instagram at How I Vegan Podcast.
Or email us howiveganpodcast@gmail.com.
Marvellous. Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.